everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this little hoodie. It's a scarf with a hoodie. It's actually called the Hawk Hood, and We Are Knitters sent me the kit. It comes in a whole kit which you can make yourself, but this is what it looks like, and very cute. You can make it in whatever color you want to, and I have made it in the Klein blue and the turquoise, and it's actually made in a black and maroon color, but very nice, very easy. This is for beginners, very easy. As you can see, it's as long as you know how to knit and how to purl, you will be able to make this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We Are Knitters have very kindly said that they will do a giveaway of this Hawk hoodie, of the kit. So if you're interested, all you have to do is click on the link which will pop up right over here. Click on that link and subscribe to their newsletter, and you will be entered into the competition to win one of the kits to make this actual project. So I encourage you to do that. If you've got to this part in the video and you're not seeing a link pop up, then the competition obviously has been finished. So if the link is showing up, feel free to click on there and enter the competition for the giveaway of the Hawk hood, and we will get back to you if you have won. I'm going to be showing you some beautiful yarn that I received from We Are Knitters. This company, you can go online to weareknitters.com, and they have a lot of beautiful yarn, really nice. They've sent me some. So this one is Peruvian, 100% Peruvian, beautiful yarn, really nice yarn. I've got different colors. That's a pink color. Right, this is the petite wool that it's called. And then this is also a beautiful color. I'll show you them close up as well. This is a cotton. The cotton is really very nice. It is 100% Peruvian Pima cotton, and they've got baby wool. This is so soft. Oh my word, all of these yarns are really soft. So I've got a bunch of that. I'm going to make some different projects with it. I encourage you to buy some because it really is fabulous yarn. Now We Are Knitters also do this wonderful deal where they send you can choose a project that you want to do. So in other words, we're actually going to be making this project. It's a hooded scarf, and it is actually called Hawk Hood. It's called the Hawk Hood. Now, you can look online and you'll see that they have, you buy the whole project. So you're basically buying a project of whichever one. It comes with the pattern, it comes with your yarn, it comes with everything in the packet. And this is what we're actually going to start knitting. They do have crochet and they have knitting, so whichever one that you choose. But you can just buy the yarn individually as I showed you. But we're going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to show you what's inside the packet and how it comes to you. But this is what we're actually going to make. So they have a bunch of different projects that you can make, and I'm going to make this Hawk hood with you, and I'm going to show you what's inside this packet when you order it. So yeah, let's get started. Right, so this is what your Hawk hood actually looks like. Really pretty. You can't see too well. I didn't get the black with the maroon color hat because it's hard for you to see when I'm knitting in black. So I took a different color, and you can do that. You can change your colors as well. You can order whatever you want in whatever color yarn. You don't have to order the needles, but you get the pattern and everything comes with it. This is a beginner's level, so we're going to make this Hawk hood as a beginner. And now, so what you do is you get your kit. It'll come like this, and then you just open it, and what's inside is everything you need. So this project needed needles, and this is a size 15 millimeter, which is a 19 US, 35 centimeter length or a 14 inch in the length. And this is made of 100% wood, and it's a really nice needle. It's very nice. I love knitting or crocheting with wood actually, and you'll find these needles at knitters.com. So I really do like this company. They seem to be very nice, and they're not too long. They're perfect for the project that you need. You don't want a super long, but you don't want them too short either. So these are really nice wooden needles. As I say, it's a 15mm or 19 for the US. And those are the needles. So you get your needles that come in here. Then you get your pattern, which will come in a little envelope like this. And it's got your instructions in. And this is for the hawk hood. And shows you the patterns, the diagram. And we're going to work this pattern from beginning to end. And we'll work from the pattern, so you'll get used to working from a pattern. Then you get your yarn. Now I chose the blues. It's really, this is turquoise and this is your blue Klein. And we'll do the body of the body. We'll do the length of the scarf in this and the hoodie in this color. Now you can order extra yarn as well, so if you want to make yours longer, you can go ahead and order extra yarn separately to the kit, and it'll come with that. Then you get, so just make sure you've got everything out of your envelope, because it says, it'll tell you on here what you need to get. You need your little sewing needle as well, and that is in here. So empty your envelope properly, and you get a little tag as well. We are knitters 100% cool fibers, proudly knitted by myself. So always check on here to be sure that you've got everything. As I say, it says you need the little sewing needle, your needles, 3 skeins or balls of yarn, your bag and your pattern, and then your little tag. Alright, so that's what comes in your bag. So I'm very excited to start this project. So we're going to go ahead and start our project, and I will work with you from the pattern, and I'll show you exactly how to make this project. So if you're interested in ordering it, it's the hawk hood, and it's a beginner level, and it's a knitted hoodie. So let's go ahead and start. Right, now these big skeins of yarn are 200 grams, which is 80 meters. Put your yarn out, just come into the center, and you'll find your yarn is nicely put in there to get your beginning piece. Alright, now if you look at your pattern, this is the scheme. This is what you always look at when you look at a pattern. Always find the little picture, because this is what your scarf's going to look like. This is going to be in the one color, that's going to be the other color, and this forms your hoodie, and that's going to be the other color. Because this is the picture. This is what's going to actually form your hoodie over here. Okay, so you're not knitting a separate piece. Then you can always look at the beginning, what they say. I always read the beginning part. It says the snood is knitted in 2 colors, A and B, and in 1 piece. You need to knit the rows along the entire piece. Then it says to start knitting, cast on 22 stitches onto one of the wooden needles with color A. So we're going to be doing color A in our blue, in this Klein blue. So we're going to be doing our hoodie in the turquoise, and this portion in the blue. So this is going to be called A. Alright, so when I say A or Klein blue, this is the color, and we're starting off here, working there, changing color, working there, and coming here. Okay, now it says to cast on 22 stitches. Alright, now I'm not really going to show you how to knit, because I do have some videos up on how to knit, but I'm going to cast on slowly. So if you are a real beginner that you don't even know how to knit, I'll go pretty slowly. Now to cast on, we need to do 22 stitches. Now I want to know how much yarn I need for my stitches. So just generally I'm going to just leave a little piece like that, and then I'm going to wrap this around 22 times just to get an idea of how many stitches, how much yarn I need for my stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17, 20, 21, 22. So generally that's going to give me 22. And I'll show you what I'm doing now. So round about here, and I'm going to give a little bit extra just in case. I'd rather do more than less. Okay, so now you've got a long piece of yarn like this. That's the beginning part up to here. And this is where we're going to start with our slip knot. So we're going to wrap our yarn around our finger. This piece up. So the front piece, just lift it up, put your needle in there, lift this up and bring this one through and put it onto your needle. Just now we're going to start casting on. Alright, so now we have our 22 stitches on, and you'll see this piece, I've got a fairly long piece, but I'd rather have a little bit extra than not. You can clip this and cut it off. Don't go all the way to the you want a piece that you can sew in. So you can cut half of this and keep a piece to sew in. Alright, now they say knit from rows 1 to 50 in color A as follows. Now you probably want to get yourself a little row counter. Right, now this is what a row counter looks like. You just can't put it onto row 1. I put mine onto one of these big needles, and then I'll probably just hang it onto my work somewhere because it doesn't fit on my needle. So if you want to, you can hang it onto your work so that it's not going to go anywhere. But I'm just going to hold it here so long. So I'm on row 1 now. This is going to be row 1. Be careful that you don't start knitting with this end piece. You don't want to do that. Alright, now they're saying row 1 and all the odd rows. Knit the first stitch on the first row, okay, and then alternate 1 knitted stitch with 1 purl stitch, and you're going to do that 4 times. Okay, so I'm going to start off by knitting the first stitch. Alright, so we're going to knit, it says to knit the first stitch, so we're going to knit the first stitch. Now this is where it gets just a little bit tricky. It says knit the first stitch on the first row, then alternate 1 knit stitch with 1 purl stitch. So you're going to knit the next stitch. So you're going to knit 1, and then you're going to purl 1, and that's number 1, because you've got to do this 4 times. Okay, so we're going to knit 1, purl 1. This is the second time. Knit 1, purl 1, that's the third time, and do that again. Knit 1 and purl 1. And I do have a video up as well showing you how to do knit and purl. Remember, when you knit, you must bring your yarn this side. When you purl, you must bring your yarn this side. So this is away from you. This is in the that is in the back. This is in the front, which is facing you for the purl. That's very important when you're doing your rib. Okay, then they say knit 8 stitches. So you knitted 1, then you knit purl 1, knit purl 2, knit purl 3, knit purl 4 times. Then it says to knit 8 stitches. And I will just knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. Okay, so now we've knitted our 8 stitches. Then they say purl 1 stitch. So we'll go ahead, put your yarn in front so it's facing you. Purl 1, purl 1 stitch, and then they say knit 1, then they say purl 1, and then knit the last 2 stitches, and you should have 2 stitches left. If you don't, you've made a mistake somewhere. 1, 2. Alright, that's row 1. Take your row counter and turn it to row 2. Now, what you did on this row, you're going to do that on every odd row. Okay, so you're going to be repeating that on every odd row. Now, row 2 is going to be done now, and then this will be repeated for every even row. So, row 2, purl the first stitch on the row. So, purl your first stitch. Then alternate 1 purl stitch with 1 knitted. So, purl, knit. And they say to do that 2 times. Okay, so purl and knit. That's my second time. Okay, then it says to just purl 8 stitches. Purl 8 stitches. So we'll just purl 8 stitches. 1, 2, 7, and 8. Then it says continue alternating 1 knit stitch with 1 purl stitch, and do that 4 times. Okay, so yarn to the back, knit 1, purl 1. That's 1 time. Knit 1, purl 1. That's the second time. Purl 1. That's the 4th time, and then finish by purling 1 stitch. So your last stitch will just be purled. Okay, and those are the 2 rows you're going to keep repeating. I'll do them with you one more time each, so you've got the hang of it. And now you can see you're starting to get a little bit of a pattern over here. This is just your knit stitch, stockinette stitch in the middle, and then you've got a rib on the sides. Okay, that's your stockinette and then your rib on this side. Alright, so now change this to row 3. This is an odd number, so it's row 1. Okay, so now all you're going to do is follow row 1 again. Okay, and that is to knit the first stitch, and as your work goes on, you'll be able to follow the pattern according to this. You won't have to use this, you'll be able to see, but let's just do it like that first. So knit your first stitch and then knit, purl 4 times. So knit, purl, that's 1 time, whoops, knit, purl, that's the 2nd time, knit, purl, that's the 4th time, and then you're just going to knit 8 stitches. And I'll show you what I mean by you having to follow your pattern on here. I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 stitches, and then purl 1, knit 1, so purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then knit the last, whoops, purl 1, knit the last 2 stitches. Okay, then change your row counter to row 4, and this is for your uneven rows. Purl the first stitch, purl the first stitch, and then alternate 1 purl with 1 knitted. So it's purl, knit, and that's 2 times, purl, and knit, that's 2 times, and then you're just purling 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 7, and then 8. Purl 8 stitches, then alternating 1 knit with 1 purl. So now 1 knit, whoops, 1 purl, and you got to do that 4 times. So that was 1 knit, 1 purl, that's number 2, 1 purl, whoops, that's number 4, and then you purl your last stitch. Alright, now I want to show you. Now you're just going to keep repeating that. You'll just keep repeating that. Now you want to just change your marker again to 5. Now, if you look at your work, I won't be needing my pattern now until I okay, you can see you've got a pattern stitch here. Let me just explain to you what's happening. This now is going to be row 5, which is all my odd rows, and you can follow your pattern on here where you see the little V stitch on this side of doing it. See these stitches here? This is your knit, it's a V. This has got a little, this is your V stitch, so that's a knit. See, it's making a V. This has got a little collar around it, that's your purl. So the purl has a collar, your knit has a V. So wherever you see the little collar, you're going to purl. Wherever you see the little V, you're going to knit. Okay, and so now you can just follow your pattern on here. So for this first row, I can see my first 2 stitches are knitted. Okay, so I'm going to knit, and I'm going to knit. Okay, the next stitch I can see it's got a little collar, so that's a purl. So bring your yarn forward, and we're going to purl that one. Okay, next stitch is a V, so it's a knit. So I'm going to bring my yarn forward, and I'm going to knit. Okay, that's a purl, yarn in the front, purl the stitch. This stitch is a knit, put my yarn to the front, sorry, to the back, and I'm going to knit one. Okay, purl, yarn to the front, purl one. Okay, that's a knit, yarn to the back, knit one. Okay, that's a purl, so I can purl that stitch, and you can see it's going to go a lot easier when you just follow what you're seeing over here. Okay, now I can see that the next 8, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 8 are all knitted, so I'm going to go ahead and knit those. That's still a knit stitch. Alright, now I can see the next stitch is a purl. So I'm going to bring my yarn forward and I'm going to purl it. And then I'm going to knit. I'm going to purl. And as you get used to recognizing your knit and purl stitch, this becomes a lot easier. That's a knit. And that's a knit as well. See, that's also a knit with a V's here. Okay. And now we're starting to get even bigger. This knits up very quickly. Alright, change your row counter to row 6. And this is our purl row, where you've got more purls on this side. And this is considered your even row. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I can see that's a purl. It's got little bumps. That's a purl and that's a purl. So I'm going to purl the first 2 stitches. Okay, that's a knit. And I basically know that I'm doing ribbing in the beginning, knit, purl, so until I get to those middle stitches, I know I'm alternating, and that's a knit. Okay, now we have our 8 stitches here, and these are all purls, so now I just purl. Number 7 and number 8. Okay, now I know that I'm going to be alternating again with knit, purl. And I can see it. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and purl the last 2. So I can safely now just alternate. So knit, purl, knit, purl. And I know I can do that to the last 2 stitches because those 2, whoops, will be the same. So I'm just going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then I know that the last 2 are purls. Okay, and those are your 2 rows, and you're going to keep doing that. You're going to be doing that for your whole pattern. So you can see what it looks like now. You've got your ribbing over here, you've got your stockinette stitch and some ribbing over here. But this is just ending with 2 of the same stitches. Anyway, so there you can see you've got a bit of a pattern. You see it more clearly on this side. You see your pattern more clearly on this side than on this side. But whichever way, and this is the pattern, you're going to be doing those 2 rows all the way. We're just going to be changing our colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now, and I'm going to go ahead and do it all the way until I have done, they say to do 50 rows. So once I reach 50 rows, I will meet you back here and we will change our colors. I'll show you how to change colors, and we will just keep doing this all the way. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back now. Alright, so I have come to I've done up to row 50, and this is what your pattern should be, what it looks like. Now, what happened was my yarn, sometimes you'll find in your skein that you have a knot where they've connected 2 pieces together. Now, I don't like having a knot in my work. So when I see the knot, I cut either side of the knot. So I cut either side, and then I rather join my 2 sides like this. So this is where the 2 threads were. I cut them and I just rejoined the yarn again. If you don't mind a knot, I just don't like seeing a knot in my work. I just don't like that, and I don't like it when the yarn does that. But some yarns, it happens, and you're going to find that you do. So I just, as I said, cut the knot, and then I joined the new piece. And then these we'll sew together with our darning needle, and I will show you how to do that. I won't show you yet, but I will be showing you how to do that. I just wanted to let you know, if you do have a knot and you don't want the knot, cut the knot on either side and join your yarn, and I will show you how to join your yarn. But I first want to show you how to join it now, because we have to start with our new color. So to start with our new color, and then I want to show you something else. As you can see, I've attached my needle on the end here. Just be careful it doesn't rip your work. As long as your work is looking okay, it's okay. Don't let it pull this too much. I see mine, I might change my spot because I don't want it to damage my work. You see, and that one's getting a little bit too much, so I'm going to put it over here. You don't have to do it. I just like to put it there, then I know for my row counter. Now, if you don't know, say you've messed up with your rows and you don't know where you are, counting your rows are pretty easy. You can see this is a V over here. This is one stitch. That's a stitch. That's a stitch. That's a stitch. So it's very easy to count your rows. You know, you're just going to count this as a row. That would be one row, another row. Sorry, that meant to be a row, not a stitch. This is a row, this is a row, this is a row, and that is a stitch. But you count it like that. So you would count, or you could just take one of these twists. Because it's so big, it's easy to count. So you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to the top. And this one is also your row. So you would count up to there, 49 and 50. So that's if you need to count. I'm going to show you how to join on your yarn, because we have to now go to our new color, and we're going to start with this turquoise. And once again, you just open it up, just take this off, be careful over there, and then find your yarn. You can see in the middle there, it's right over there. Okay, now we're going to start with this new color, and I'm on a knit row. Well, I say a knit row. I'm on where I start with 2 knits. And this now is going to be row 51. So I'm going to change my marker to row 51, just so I know. And I'm going to cut this piece off over here. So leave a fair amount, because you want to be able to sew it in nicely. Cut it off over there. And now we're going to start with our new yarn. Okay, right, so I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to wrap it over like this. Okay, so for the beginning, take your new yarn, wrap it over like this, and put it around your stitch, same way as if it's in the middle. Knit. Now you could take your old yarn, this is your old yarn, you can do the same thing, just your old yarn, put it over the new, and then knit your next stitch or purl your next stitch. So just put the old one over the new. If it's too hard, you can just let them dangle, but you put the old one over the new, and then you purl. You purl, and then we're going to knit, because this is our knit, knit, purl, knit, purl. You just keep doing the same pattern as you have been doing. Let's take this piece, and I now want to join a new piece on in the middle of my work. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your yarn, cross it over like this, and you're going to knit the next piece here. Okay, so now I've got that piece there. There's the join. Now take your old piece and just cross it over. See, here's your new one. This is your old one. Cross the old over the new, and then you can do the rest of your work. Well, this is a purl, and then purl it, and it just catches your yarn over there, and then you can purl. Okay, and then just keep going, and then you've got your 2 yarns over here, and it's caught. Okay, let me show you that again. That's just for you to know. Right, so let me just show you that once more. This is, say, the old color, and this is your new color that you're wanting to join. And I'm just showing you this because if you end up with 2 knots, now you would have the same 2 colors probably, but this is just to change. Alright, so preferably changing on a knit stitch. Turn your yarn over like this. Leave a nice piece that you can sew in. Leave this one over here. Pretend to knit. Well, put your needle in there. Wrap this around. Okay, so it's like that, with your end over there, and just knit. This is where you're going to secure it though. Take your old yarn, the old yarn over the new, and be careful not to be using this one. Just leave that. You take your old yarn, this was the old one, put it over my new yarn, take your new yarn and just start knitting. Knitting or whatever, my stitch is a purl. And it traps your yarn in the back. Okay, and then you can just keep going, and you've got your yarn attached together here, and you'll be sewing them in. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that. Do this until you get to row, you're doing 51 to 100. So once you get to row 100, we'll change over and go into your blue again. So you can go ahead and do that. I won't stop again because I've shown you how to change your yarn. But you can go ahead, do this for row 51 to 100. Then you're going to change over to your blue again and do row 101 to 150 in your blue. And then I'll show you how we finish it off. So let's keep going. Alright, so I've went ahead and I changed colors again. So you did your first 50 rows. Then you change your colors to the turquoise, and you do another 50 rows, and then you change your colors and you do your last 50 rows. I'm just going to finish this row, and then I'm going to show you how to cast off. And we're going to cast this off, and then we're going to sew our hoodie. So let me finish this row and then I'll show you how we cast off. Alright, so now we're going to cast off. And you should be on this row where it looks like you've got just knit, just stockinette stitch. So all that you're going to do is you're going to knit your first stitch and your second stitch. Okay, then you're going to go into this stitch over here and you're going to pull that stitch through. Okay, so just the first time you knit 2 stitches. Now you're only going to be knitting 1 stitch each time, because you have to have 2 on your needle to cast off. Bring this needle and bring it into this stitch like that, and pull this over this one. While you're pulling, you're going to have to pull this a little bit to get your stitch a little tighter. So you do that, hold this, put your needle in here, pull this a little tighter so it makes that stitch a little tighter and it can come through. Don't pull too tight, otherwise you're going to have a very tight casting off. 1 stitch, bring your needle in there and bring it over this stitch. And that's all there is to this one. There are a lot of different ways to cast off, but this is your basic one. So you're just going to do that all the time, cast off. Needle in. You must have 2 stitches on so you can pull the one over the other. And that's all that we're doing. So once you've cast your stitches off, I'm going to show you how to do the rest of our scarf. So get that done and then I'll show you how to sew our threads in and how to sew our hoodie. Okay, with your very last stitch, you just pull it out a little bit and you're going to take the thread, you cut your thread off, leave a fairly long piece so that you can sew it in, and you're going to bring this thread in through there. Let's bring it through there and then you pull and you make a knot. Okay, and now we can sew these threads in. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is decide which way you want your scarf to go. If you're wanting it this way, this is the way the pattern has it. It's going this side, but if you prefer yours this way, you can also do it this way. It doesn't matter. Either way is going to be acceptable for our scarf. Now, the way the pattern is that you're going to have this section opening up like that. Okay, so this is the side our pattern is going, and we're going to be sewing our turquoise together. These two will be sewn together, but I'm going to be flipping it the other way because I don't want to have my sewing seen over here. So because if you look at your pattern here, it shows you that this is the part that you're going to sew over here on your hoodie. You're sewing the 2 sides together. Okay, so that forms your little hoodie. So what you want to do is you want to decide which way you want your hoodie to be. Okay, mine's going to be like this, and this is where it's going to open. So I know that I'm going to be sewing from here to here. This is going to get sewn together. Alright, so this is my right side. So now I'm going to flip this over so I can sew this together from the inside. Okay, so we turn it around like this, and this now is my wrong side. Okay, so this is now the wrong side. So now when I sew my threads in, I'm going to sew them all this side. I'm going to sew everything this side of the work because this is the wrong side of my work. So to start sewing threads in, what you want to do now, this is really thick yarn, so I'll show you a quick way to get your yarn in. You're not going to get it in this way. Is to take your yarn and flatten it out like this. flatten it out as best you can and put it onto your needle like this and fold it over. Okay, and kind of as close together as you can so it'll fit in here. Take it off your needle and then just put it into your needle eye like that. It's a little bit of an art, a little bit of a knack to it, but you'll get it. So once again, just flatten this out so it's nice and straight. And a short, you don't want it all spread out, you're not going to get it in that eye either. So flatten it, put it onto your needle like this, get it as close together, pull it off and just push it in here and you should get it in. This is now the right side of my work, so I'm not going to be sewing, I'm not sewing this side, I've got to sew in here. Right, so all that you're going to do is you're just going to go through your stitches. Now this side is not the end of the world if you see it, but you still don't want to see your work, your sewing. So I'm going to go through one of these stitches and just pull it through so my end is looking good. Okay, and I'm going to just go through some of these stitches. You're just going to thread this through. Okay, and you see you can't really see where I'm sewing, and I don't just go straight, I go a little skew. So now I'm going to go in this one and I'm going to come in this one and this one, and I'll show you what I mean. I don't just go straight, that's all kind of in a straight line. Now I'm going to kind of come back, I'll come back through here and here, have it looking fairly neat. This is very thick yarn, so you shouldn't have a problem hiding it. See, you can't really see where I've sewn it. Alright, and that's all that you do for your sewing. Just go, and you don't have to go too far, I mean that's probably enough already. But I just go back and forth and come in this one. And then you can just cut your thread off. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go through there. Whoops. I'm going to go through there and I'm just going to come back through here. Now I'm going to cut it off. Okay, and then you just cut your thread off. Right as close as you can over there. And that's good. That's not going to go anywhere. So you can do that to all your threads. That's how you're going to sew it in. When you've done that, we want to sew this together. So I'm going to sew my threads in and I'll meet you back here and we'll sew this. Alright, so once you've sewn your threads in, get yourself a nice piece of this color, your turquoise, or whichever color you used for your hoodie, and we're going to sew this together now. Now, there's a few ways to start it. You could make a knot on the end of your yarn, but then you're going to see it. So we're probably going to just do it this way. Put your two sides together. Okay, and you want them to be even. And I can see this little blue part is where I brought my yarn over. But I can see that this is where my first row needs to be with that one. Okay, so this is where it needs to be when I start sewing. Okay, so now we're going to start, because this is the wrong side, I can just start over here. So I'm going to do this and bring my yarn through till I get to the end, and then you pull this through. Just be careful, you might want to hold this bottom part because otherwise you're going to, okay, there we go. And then I've got a bit of a knot over here, and then we're going to cut this piece a little closer. So now I'm going to come through here. Or the other thing you can do is keep this longer and then just sew this end in. You know, it's either way, but this isn't going to go anywhere. And if I really want to, I can sew it in through here. So however you want to start. Alright, then you're going to come through and we're going to now start. Now, you can decide the way to sew this. You can either, just be sure these are lining up. You can either take, you're going to work from the one side to the other. So in other words, I'm going to take these two and I'm going to take these two on either side, and I'm going to pull my yarn through. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece here, and you want to work at the same pace, and I'll show you what I mean by that now. You have to end up at the top using both of these So you don't want to end up with more on this side than this side. You see what I'm saying? It's got to stay even. So you want to keep making sure that you're picking up at the same place on this side. So I'm going to take these two pieces and bring it over here. And you can look on the other side if it's working alright, because this is the side that's going to be seen. And mine looks fine. If you don't want to take both of them, you can just take the one. These are the two inside ones, and you'll get a different look. So in other words, I'm taking this one and I'm taking this one, and then you bring it through. Or you could take the two outsides, so this one and this one, and then that's going to be on your inside. I wouldn't do that one, but it's up to you. So you can take this inside one and this one here, and then you can see you'd get a slightly different look to what this one is. So whichever you decide, you just want to sew it up as best you can, and I'm going to go ahead and sew mine, and then I'll meet you back here. Alright, so once you've sewn that, once you've finished sewing it there, just flip it inside out to the right side of your work now, and you should have sewn your hoodie like that. So you've got your blue there and you sewed that together like that, and then your little hawk hood is complete. That's all that you need to do to it, and that's what it looks like. So you have the two sides there with your hoodie over here, and you put it on. So that's what your hawk hood looks like. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you wanting to make this hawk hood, look in the link down below and you'll find a website to where you can buy this kit and where you can actually make your hoodie. So thanks so much, guys. Bye.